Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to Draft Day Sports College Basketball. This is episode 45. It is the contact time for recruiting. We only have 2 scholarships this year, but you still get those 4 contacts. Now, all of my guys on my list, I have 11 of them, are from either Washington or Oregon, as that is our pipeline that we are working with. But unlike years past, there is some serious talent coming, well, mostly out of Washington this year, with 2 players in the top 10, another at 13th, another at 28th, another at 39th, another at 62nd, that being the top one from the state of Oregon. So we are looking at some really, really top-notch talents. Now, the reality, though, especially like McCaffrey, the #1 player in the country coming out of high school, McCaffrey is going to be recruited by no less than 20 or 30 programs. And guaranteed, we are the smallest one that is going to potentially talk with them by far. So our chances are ridiculously slim. I mean, we're playing the lottery with any of those top 3 for sure. And then realistically, the next couple, and maybe even down to Stapleton. So we're looking at, we need a perfect storm. We need everything going in our favor to have any shot at those guys. So I'm not just going to take the top 4 on the list and pitch location because we're close to home and hope that they go for it. We want to make sure. And the good news is 9 out of the 11 I've gotten information on. I've got the interest level unlocked over the previous couple months through the summer. So starting with McCaffrey, he cares about school prestige, he cares about playing time, he does care about location. We don't know how much control the parents have, but it looks, actually no, we do. It's no control, so it's his own decision. Parents are not going to influence the decision. We could try to pitch playing time, we could try to pitch location, very much not the perfect storm. I mean, he's looking to go to the biggest program, and the big programs are going to recruit him, and they're going to recruit him on that, and we're not on his top 10 list. Somebody up here that is prestigious is going to recruit him and get him. So I think we can bypass that one. We're not going to get the #1 player in the country. Sanders, no parent control, not on his top 10 list either. Again, location, not a big deal. He does care about playing time. We don't know about the school prestige on him just yet. I haven't unlocked everything, but I'm guessing either the school or conference prestige is going to be quite high. Not looking like a strong candidate. Bremer, biggest thing is school prestige. Frederick, no parent control, so these don't matter. We don't know about the things here. We've got them unlocked. We need to find out. So I do have my call time left for this week. I'm going to go ahead and use that, see what we can get on Frederick. So both location and playing time come in pretty high on Frederick's list. School prestige is not very high on his list. Therefore, there's our first target. We're going to go after Alan Frederick. Frederick is a small forward, ranked 28th, A+. I mean, this is an outstanding candidate if we can get him. And this is the first one that I'm looking at going, hey, you know, we might have a shot with this guy. Next guy on the list is McClintock. Loves location. He is Tumwater, Seattle, but we're okay because, again, it's not about where. It's just you're from the state. They don't take actual geography. And no parent control. So the location part would sway him pretty well. There's our second guy. And the center, who's an A, is the second scholarship that we're going to get after. Stapleton also cares about location, so he's the third one that we're going to target. And he's from Oregon, so we'll even get a bigger boost to that. We were just talking about how Tumwater, basically Seattle, is irrelevant because Washington is Washington. And here we really see how it's irrelevant, and it kind of sucks. This guy's from my hometown where I'm located at right now, Vancouver, Washington, which is literally, I'm 2 minutes away from Oregon. I can look out my window and see the river, and I can see Portland on the other side. The team is located in Portland. This is home. This is 100% evaluation for Chad Woods. Except it's not. Because he's from Washington, we're from Oregon, and therefore he would look at that as you're out of state. But it's one state over. So we get a good bonus, but it's the same bonus that Mr. Tumwater got. Both he and his parents care about location. Parents have a little bit of influence, so we're definitely going to make him our fourth and final target. Chad Woods, weren't impressed. Stapleton, good visit. McClintock can't see himself playing for us. Same with Frederick. So even when we have a good solid pitch, we can only get 1 out of 4 guys even remotely interested in us. We'll see how good of a boost that one was. But it's not looking good at this point on getting after this excellent recruiting class. So I stuck with Stapleton, moved on to 3 others, including the top 2 targets, knowing that chances are not very good. And then the next guy down the list. There's 3 more at the bottom of the list, but we do have a couple decisions, and beginning with Stapleton, which is probably not a good thing because we had only gotten up to warm. I would imagine we wouldn't have gone far enough. But what did he think? They were really impressed, so we continue to make gains there. But I'm guessing we're only just hitting hot, and we're probably only just reaching his top 5 at this stage, so probably not good. Let's go ahead and find out. San Diego State. Of all places, he's going San Diego State. I mean, that's something we could have, should have. McCaffrey doesn't like us and is going to Virginia. Sanders doesn't like us, and neither does Henderson. So that was a big donut hole. Even though Stapleton, yes, liked us and then liked us again, he's already opted to go somewhere else. So recruiting has been a big failure at this point. That's the problem with a big-time recruiting class, is there's a lot more competition to get those signings, and as much as we have improved drastically, we're still not good. And now there's a lot of guys out. Henderson actually made his decision, so he not only didn't like us, but he has signed up with Oregon. He liked their location. And Stapleton, that one hurts because he is the top target out of Oregon, and he liked us. He liked us a lot. I would imagine if we go look at Stapleton now, we're going to be fairly high up that list. Yeah, told you, top 5 by this point, up to 4th. Location is his number one thing. But that's the same thing we're dealing with all the Washington guys. 1 state removed. They are 1 state removed. So even though it's his most important thing, he's still playing close to home. But we're looking at Virginia, Xavier, Cincinnati, San Diego State, and Oregon, excluding already 5 from our list. And we're looking at 3 guys that didn't like us, plus 3 remaining. So we're going to try to target the 3 that remain, and then we'll get back after probably Alan Frederick and have a second attempt on that one. Frederick going to Notre Dame. Wasn't impressed anyway. McClintock can't see himself playing for us. Woolfolk can't see himself playing for us. And Albert Evans, decently positive. It's only the 2nd player that we've come across that liked us at all. Practice about to begin. So Albert Evans will be our target. I think we have 1 week remaining. Yes, we do. And we have a very small list now. Just 3 players remain on it. McClintock still does not like us. We've pitched location twice to him, and he didn't care for it. So we're going to go ahead and pitch playing time. Just give it a shot, see if he likes that. Didn't care for the location. Maybe for him, he really wants Washington and does not care about Oregon. Entirely possible. Chad Woods was a big target before, but he didn't like us. We'll give him another shot. And then Albert Evans, the one who did like us, we're definitely going to give the scholarship offer to him at this point. And we didn't know anything about him before. This was the first contact we had had with him. No parent control is all we know at this stage, so I'll go ahead and talk to him and see what we can unlock. McClintock still didn't like us and has signed up to go to Oklahoma. Woods still didn't care for us, but Albert Evans, another happy positive. So maybe, just maybe, we've got one guy out of this recruiting class that we've got a real shot at. I also found out after speaking with him that location is number one on his list, and he was the second best Oregon recruit. So there is a legitimate shot that we can sway him into coming to our school. How much has he improved, though, in 2 weeks of speaking with him? Still just cool. Still only cool. So yeah, we only climbed to number 10 on his list. So even though it's the number one most important factor and the parent control is non-existent, meaning it's his decision, and we have top point gains, though, from Salem, he would rather go to Eugene. However, it's exactly down the middle. It's halfway between University of Oregon and any of the Portland schools. It, again, doesn't matter. State is state, so we get max bonus. And somehow we still only climbed to number 10. Does that mean he's being recruited by a lot of schools that got head starts on us? Or does it mean that he's got a lot of unrealistic programs at the top of his list that aren't going to offer? If that's the case, you'll see us move up that list, as he does have a scholarship offer from us. And maybe late in the season, we might get him signed. Depth chart set for the year. Eric Reed still looks really good at point guard. Houston apparently is not as good this year. It's weird how much this fluctuates. Is it our evaluation being that poor? Very well could be. Hyde, new guy coming in, 30 minutes a game, mostly because I don't have the depth you need at small forward necessarily. We'll see how he compares to Rice. Rice might gain some additional minutes if it's closer between the two than it looks. Lindquist staying on those starters minutes, 26 for him though. And new guy Alexander. Alexander was a big time scorer. Conference T player of the year. We bring him in and 26 minutes a game, even though we only see him as a 2-star guy. The kind of numbers he was able to put up suggests that our scouting on him is just inaccurate. Speaking of inaccurate scouting, Cooper was our other starting guy last year, and Cooper is rated as 1.5 stars. Can't play D, has tons of weaknesses, yet the year before, plus starting last year for us after he transferred to us, he put up solid numbers. Now, efficiency wasn't the greatest, and that's the reason why I've gone ahead and allowed him to be bumped to the bench, but he's still getting 20 a night between center and power forward. New personal ratings for the year, and one manual edit to those. First, the actual adjusted regular player development now at 33, offense at 25, defense at 32, recruiting now topping 40 at 41, and scouting was still a 2. I don't know exactly how many years we're in, but let's say we're 10 years into this, give or take. 10 years, and we had increased by literally 1 point out of a possible 100. So no more are we going to sit back idly where a broken piece of the game, where everything else works just fine, but one broken element of that game progresses absurdly slowly. At that rate, it would take us 100 years just to get to a 10. We're not going to live that long. So we bumped it up to a 20. At this point, I'm planning on adding 2 points per year, roughly. I might not do it every single year, but I will keep it behind the others. Right now, our weakest skill otherwise was offense at 25. It will not surpass that. So that's kind of the bottom line. It'll at least, at the most, stay level with our other lowest attribute. I'm wondering, though, if that's the one that varies wildly, or why it varies wildly, is that we have no scouting. It's internal. We can't judge the team, and we do it so badly that it doesn't allow us to progress the skill. See if that changes over time here. if we get a little more accurate, a little more consistent. Because, one season somebody's 4 stars, the next season they're 1.5 stars without anything changing. But our evaluation of them changes completely and they go out and perform the same they did, meaning they seem to be the same player. Nothing's different about them, just our evaluation of them. Quick rundown for our season opener and comparison of where we are versus others. Austin P. I've never actually heard it pronounced. I've seen the name. I'm familiar with the school vaguely. They've been in the Ohio Valley Conference for ages. This year, they're entering the Atlantic Sun in real life. They have never made it beyond the Sweet 16. They've only done that once. They've only made the second round a few times in their history. They've only made the tournament once in the past decade, and they got blown out by Kansas by about 30 points in that one tournament appearance. This is a small mid-major conference program. This is your bottom end, those mid-major conferences. Somehow, they still have a decent amount of prestige. I believe it's similar to where we're at. But this puts them all the way up in Conference G, far above our level, making it a lot easier to recruit with the setup that we have. And this is our current prestige, or close to it. Let's see where we're actually at these days. Okay, wow, we actually still have a ways to go. So we have already done as much as we've done more than they have done in the entirety of their history, real life history. One Sweet 16 appearance is the pinnacle of Austin P State University. We have 2 Sweet 16s and a Final Four appearance, but of course, we started with nothing, and team prestige is not automatic. You don't have one run and suddenly you have prestige. Prestige is built up over many, many, many years, many decades. Gonzaga, I've already used it as an example a handful of episodes back, but I'll use it again. Gonzaga was an unknown mid-major 30 years ago. They made run after run after run in the 90s. Finally, after 3 or 4 of those runs, the media finally started going, let's stop underestimating these guys. They're going to stay here for a while. And that prestige still slowly climbed. Now they're a perennial top 5, 25 years on from where they were, let's stop underestimating these guys. We are that team right now. We are 5 appearances in a 6-year span, 5-year span. Have we made it 5 years in a row? And that also definitely means we are not 10 years into this playthrough just yet. We're about 7. I think we're on going to year number 8 right now, if my memory serves me correctly, right? We'd be in year 9, so right about the 10 years, because we had 2 ultimate failures, 3rd year resulting in starting to climb that ladder. Next year, automatic bid, first tournament appearance. So that would have been year 4 for that first appearance. Plus 4 more on top of that. That's 8 years. That means this is entering year number 9. We are going to update that arena capacity sometime soon because it's already would be up over 4,200. But that team prestige has climbed above the conference prestige now as we go up the ladder, and if we continue to make second, third round runs, that team prestige will soon climb above an Austin P. But there's your comparison, right? We have done more than they've done in their history in just a few years, but team prestige is built over a long period of time. We are still an unknown. We're still a newbie out there. We've got some work to do. 3 conference championships matches there. 3 conference championships. But prestige is a long-term thing. It's not just given to you overnight. So we've got a long ways to go yet just to match somebody that technically we've already surpassed. And so the season tips off. We'll see how we perform in this one. It's going to be interesting. The ratings that we see of some of these guys suggest that it's going to be a really rough year for us. Yet I went into this going, hey, we're going to get a lot of guys back. We're only losing 1 key player. I was excited for this season, thinking we were going to be better. And then all of a sudden, our evaluations look really bad. It's 5-5 after we make that three-pointer, and then they make a second. They've already had 2 threes in this game. Our defense not looking so good at the moment. There's a 3, and somehow still only matches. But that means our defense is actually looking fairly good. It's our offense that at the moment is looking quite shaky. Rebounds are fairly level. Turnovers fairly level. Neither team shooting well. Both teams 2 for 4 from 3 though, and that's been the key part to this game thus far. Both teams 4 of 10, but 2 of 4 from 3. Couple free throws there and missed them both. Never want to see that. And we are going to apparently see that a bit. Alexander is really good at drawing fouls. He's got an 80, according to our scouting. He is an 80 in drawing fouls. He is a 14 at free throws. He's also good at good inside shot and a high scoring rate, hence the 18 points a game that he had. So can't make a free throw, but gets to the line a lot and has a good inside shot and will have high volume and plays inside. So a lot of good things for him, but we are suddenly down 10, still unable to score. Let's use a 30-second timeout here at the exact halfway point of the first half. We are just shooting terribly, and all of a sudden they are literally making every shot that they put up. I think they've made something like 5 in a row, 6 in a row on their shot attempts. Not sure what happened on that one, why they were in right at the rim and then all of a sudden ended up ball side out. Apparently we fouled him before he could go up for the shot. 4 fouls apiece at this point. That's a good sign for us. We're not committing a lot of fouls. We just are having an awful go shooting the ball at the moment. Reed 0 for 2. Williamson 0 for 2. Hyde 1 for 3. Just as an example, those guys combined are a 1 for 7. We have a little momentum now. Outside of that little stretch where they literally made everything that they flung up in the air, defensively, we've been really good. Offensively, we just are shooting terribly. 8 for 22, 36%. And we're still only down by 7. So, despite their little run of 12 points in like a minute, and our inability to shoot at any point in this first half, being down just 7 is a good sign. We are on the road for this, by the way. Adding to the complexity. Still just 4 fouls. I'm loving that part. Absolutely loving that part of what we're doing here. But with 2 minutes to go, we're back down by 11 as we continue to struggle putting the ball through the rim. We've held them to 33 in the first half, which is good. Rebounding, +6. Turnovers, -4, though. And it's only 5 steals that they've had, so a lot of those are unforced. We are just sloppy. 2 for 9 from 3, so where we had started well, we've been 0 for 5 for the last couple. Finished the half down 7. But there's a lot of encouraging things here. We can't shoot that bad forever. That part will get better. Cooper, this is why he's getting minutes. He's the one guy who really keeping us in it. He's the only one shooting well. Well, Lindquist is doing okay at 3 for 5, but second half underway, and like I said, it can only get better from here. We immediately come out and score in the second half and have already gotten a couple stops. Stops were not a problem in that first half. Outside of that 12 points in about a minute, they only had 35 for the half. So you take out those 12, they had 23 points, give or take, in a 19-minute stretch. So defensively, we made life very, very hard on them outside of their one hot moment. And we're already back within 3 after the halftime talk, after figuring out how to shoot the ball, shoot around during halftime, whatever the case may have been. You might envision that, we talked about form, and we come out during warm-ups, work on that form, work on that follow-through, and we're already seeing a much better showing in the second half. Though, what, three buckets in a row, and they are back up by a little bit. Defense there, multiple stops. Still cannot make shooting not much better here in the second half. A little better, but not much. Couple free throws on that one. Alexander already at 10 points, 4 of 6 shooting, 5 rebounds for him, 3 steals, 2 blocks. And that's a 2-star player? Really? Eric Reed, 0 points, 6 assists. He does have a few steals, though. 0 for 3, not helping. Houston's doing okay. 8 points, 10 shots. I don't like the volume. I don't like when your scoring is less than the shots you take. Down by 12. What the heck just happened here? We've made 4 free throws in the last 4 minutes. 5 minutes, that's it. All those movies where they use magic, some form of magic, whether it's cartoon magic, whether it's some TV show, you see it again and again in different shows or movies that depict basketball, and somebody's influencing the ball, where the ball's slippery, or their shoes are slippery, or you influence the shot just a little whoop, and make it go out. It's like you can't get much worse than we've been. 17 for 48, 31 misses. We're almost at 1 for 3 on our attempts. Down by 15. It's looking like today is going to be a loss. Now, I'm encouraged by how good the defense has been against this much larger conference team, bit higher prestige team on the road. I am very discouraged by how terrible the shooting has been. Still, 2 for 14. We've missed our last 10 3-point attempts. We've missed 8 free throws. But the fouls haven't been a major concern today. The defense has been ultimately good. The rebounding advantage is gone, though. We're now at a deficit. We've fixed the turnovers a little bit. 13 steals really helping us out. Their turnovers piling on as we add another one. So good things are happening. No team will shoot this bad day after day after day. So I'm not overly concerned. Are we going to lose this game? Yes. Yes. They've shot well. They're 46% from 3. They're 50% from the field. But a lot of that came in 2 stretches where they made back to back to back. And in one case, like 5 shots in 5 possessions. They got hot twice. You take that out, the 12 the first time, the 6 or 7 the second time, right? Subtract 20 points. They got 52. Now, would they have made some of those possessions? Would they have converted some of those buckets? Absolutely. But at the very least, you subtract 2 very hot moments that they had, and you're looking at 60 points or less given up. That's good defense. Our offense was terrible. We unforced error, turned the ball over a lot in the first half. 6 blocks and 9 steals is not a bad number. I mean, their defense was okay. Their defense was adequate. Did they force the misses? This game doesn't really let you know. Were we missing open looks, or were we missing contested shots? Can't say. Honestly, can't say. But 3 for 19 from 3 after starting 2 for 4. 1 for 15 over the last 38 minutes of the game. No matter how you stack up how contested the shots were, that's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. And we still only lost by 9 points. We could and should be scoring 75, 80 points a night. And just shoot the ball a tiny bit better. And exactly that's going to happen. So I still think we're going to be fine. But we have a lot of road games to start this season. So not a foregone conclusion. I was encouraged by what to expect for this season. Now, I'm a little concerned. But only a little. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.